Hi, welcome to the small shed. This week we've got more underbench storage, I'm afraid, and that's coming up next. Well, having put up with 8 weeks of building the rolling cart under the MFT table with all the drawers in it and everything, I can understand there's probably a bit of apprehension if we start building another one. This one I hope will be built in 1 week because most of the principles you've already seen. So I'm not going to be doing anything repetitious, I don't think. You might get the odd shot of assembling the thing, but there's not a great deal of time spent on that. What I've done is to change the design slightly. There are a couple of reasons for that. Firstly, it's cut down on the material used, which is helpful, and it has saved a few pounds. That wasn't really the intention though. The snag I've always had is that by the time you take a 40mm top rail and a 40mm bottom rail and a 10mm aluminium spacer for the caster and 70mm of casters, you've got 180mm of wasted depth, if you like. So I thought one of the ways I could get more depth in, and I could just about squeeze the chop saw in, I think, is to put a 18mm ply base with casters bolted straight to it, then come off that with the verticals of the aluminium, and then put the aluminium top rails in. There's not the need for the strength that there is in the main rolling cart under the bench, which is carrying a huge amount of weight. This one is not carrying so much weight anyway, so I'm going to see how that goes, but they'll be slightly different now in the way it's put together, and I'll film that for you just so that you can see the differences. But as I say, there won't be a lot of the repetition of threading sections and things like that that occur in the main one that I did for the rolling cart under the bench, under the MFT bench. So we'll see how we get on with that. First of all, I've got to identify what it is that I've got, because I ordered 2 benches at the same time and I'm not quite sure which bits are going to fit where. I've got all the aluminium cut to size and it's arrived, but I've now got to identify which is which, so I'm just going to do that first. Yeah, and those two are only 10mm different, so hence the need to be careful with it. That quite obviously is the full width of the TWX7, so that's for that one. That is likely to be the verticals for the bandsaw and pillar drill. It's 590mm, so that's the bandsaw. So that's the TWX7. It's just basically 4 uprights and a top rail and a front to back, and they're in one of those, and then the chop saws over there as well. So we'll start on the TWX7. So that's a rough mock-up of where we're going with this. The aluminium uprights are now going to be bolted up from underneath with the screws that normally go in, connecting the junctions together. It's done away with that bottom rail. It also enables me to mount the casters. They'll have to mount slightly further in, but they'll be mounted there, and they will therefore take out 10mm of the original aluminium bottom plate and another 20mm of what would have been the bottom rail of the aluminium. obviously if I put the top that's got the holes in it, which is just basically like an MFT top for the TWX7, that will fit in either of those because there's obviously a lot less underneath it. But at least that will take both of the saw and the router table, and it just pushes neatly out of the way underneath so that it's not causing any disturbance in the shed. There's a fair bit of room underneath it. I can't get the chop saw under that I wanted to, but I've still got a lot of bench grinders and metal disc cutter chop saws and things like that which I'll fit out underneath, and that will take a lot of pressure off the floor space in the shop at the moment. Slowly, as I get these things built, some more carts, it should make the whole situation much easier. Well, that's the underbench storage cart for the TWX7 sorted, and it seems to be working okay. Sadly I can't get the chop saw underneath at the moment, so I've still got to rethink about how that's going to work in the shed. But on the whole I'm pretty pleased with it. The simplified method of putting it together is saving an awful lot of time in not having to cut out the caster plates and things. So we can move on and plan the next 3 or 4 of these carts, and then I'll just put videos up for anything that's unusual or different about them. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please press like, subscribe, share it with your friends, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Bye.